Hey guys, it's Kristen and I am facing food addiction. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and also give this video a thumbs up if you feel like you need to be facing some food addiction of your own. In this video, we're going to cover what happened over the last week while I have been on a potato fast, and we'll get right into the biometrics. Here we go. Okay, we're getting into day 1 of the blood pressure and body composition. So blood pressure of 130/80 and weight of 289.4. Now this is after coming off of a week of eating just whatever I want. And so you can see I've gained quite a bit of weight doing that. And during that week of tracking eating whatever I want, it was really about coming to a point of honesty so that I could begin to face food addiction. And so you can see from these numbers just a baseline of where I'm at. And the body composition really isn't about setting any kind of goal to lose weight or anything like that. It is just about facing the reality of the situation. So on this first day, I only had the Thrive Lifestyle Mix, and I'll only be having that for the first few days of this potato fast because I'm completing the Thrive. I wanted to see if it was going to really help me overcome food addiction. It did not. But switching to potatoes was a good start. So a little bit of a spoiler alert. But of course, that first day was only a water fast. So I didn't eat anything except drinking the Thrive mix. And I suppose that's not technically eating, but there was calories in it nonetheless. So I only had that that first day, but everything else was just water fasting. And then what you'll see here as the week progresses, if you look at this, that's a lot of potatoes. I ate a lot of potatoes on Sunday, and it was the first day of actually eating something on this potato fast. And you can see almost instantly such a change in blood pressure from that first day, and also a change in weight. Now, my weight did go up from day 2 where I was weighing after the water fast, but that's completely normal. After you've been fasting, you lose a little bit of weight and then you start eating again. Well, you're going to put on some of that weight again. But as you'll see here throughout the week, the overall trend is a downward trend. And note my body water percentage at 30.8%. That is going to go up. And a lot of times when people go on a diet, they lose weight really fast and it's all water weight. But what you will see here with the biometrics is that I'm not losing a ton of water. I'm actually gaining water in my body. So I'm feeling more hydrated, and overall it's really been beneficial. So these are the real numbers. You can see that from last July, I'm getting closer and closer to that weight as the days go on here. My body fat percentage is well over 50%, and that's really an unhealthy place to be. But that being said, I do have a large amount of muscle, and as you can see already, the muscle mass has gone up from the time when I first started. And I think you can also see as I scroll through the food choices for the day, they're getting smaller. The list is getting shorter. And so what I have noticed throughout the week is that I don't require as big of portions each day. I'm satisfied on less, which is really odd for someone who's been a food addict for so long. Big portions go along with the territory. And so to be in a situation where I'm satisfied with much less that's really helpful to me. So check this body water percent out. It's up even from yesterday. It seems to go up every single day. Muscle mass has gone up as well. The bone mass has been pretty consistent at 7.8 pounds. But on this day, I just had those 2 different meals and I was quite satisfied with that. So going into day 6, my blood pressure is up a little bit from where it had been throughout the week, but it is still down from where it was before I started the potato fast. And I was at 280 on this day, and I thought that was really odd because the day before I was at 283 something, and it's like a 3-pound loss. So that seemed like a lot to me. And I was concerned about my muscle mass, but as you can see, the fat-free body mass went up and the bone mass stayed the same. My protein percentage is up and my BMR is up. The skeletal muscle is up and the muscle mass at 121.4 pounds. That's huge. And on this day, I did actually have 3 meals. I was hungry in the middle of the day, so that worked out well. And then here is the last day showing an overall drop in my blood pressure and then 279.2 pounds. I thought that after a 3-pound loss from the day before that I would be gaining on day 7, but that ended up not happening. Except in the muscle mass. I still gained more muscle mass. So that's been really cool to see the body fat percentage go down and the visceral fat go down while body water goes up and skeletal muscle goes up and the muscle mass goes up. So that's something I didn't expect to happen while eating just potatoes. Okay, so I have been eating just seasoned potatoes for about a week now, and I'm now on day 8. It's the morning of, and I want to give a recap over the last week. I didn't review yesterday evening or the day before. Those days were pretty easy for me. So the week started out pretty rough, and I craved everything that wasn't a potato. And driving by fast food restaurants was really hard. But as the week went on, it got better. And I do want to be just straight up. I was dealing with a migraine on Sunday. On Monday, it went away a little bit towards the evening on Monday, but then it came back in full force on Tuesday. And then a little bit less on Wednesday. A little bit less on Thursday. And today is Friday, and I have no headache this morning. So, I am feeling like I'm in a good place. Looking at a week ahead where it's another week of eating just seasoned potatoes again, I don't feel frustrated with that. I'm not in any kind of despair or anything like that. So that is very helpful. It's been helpful for me to be reading scripture. One of the scriptures that I've kind of clung to has been in Proverbs chapter 9. And I don't have it memorized yet. I'm working on it. But it starts with the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And that's kind of a more common verse that people know, but it goes on from there. There's more. It says, knowledge of the Holy One is insight, for by me your life is preserved and years are added to your life. And so I didn't quote that quite exactly, but I think it's very interesting how that progresses from fear of the Lord and knowledge of the Lord. We receive wisdom and insight. And then from that whole reality, years get added to our lives. And so if we're in panic mode and we're doing, all this stuff that has nothing to do with how God created the body to work and all that, we're trying to manipulate things, that's not going to add years to our lives. But if we are operating within God's good design, if we have wisdom that comes from the Lord, if we have insight that comes from knowledge of Him, then those things have value to us. Otherwise, we're just chasing the wind. We're not really achieving any kind of end goal. So when it comes to food addiction, it's really important, especially if you're a Christian. If you're not a Christian, become a Christian today. Put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ. He is the one who satisfies your life. But if you're a Christian and you're struggling with food addiction, it's really important for you to understand that a diet, some kind of gimmick, this is not going to fix you. You have to draw close to the Lord, and that is the purpose of fasting. So that's why it's really important, if you're dealing with food addiction, that you don't approach a 2-week potato fast as a diet. It has to be a fast dedicated to the Lord. If you're just going to restrict yourself to potatoes, you're simply going to be in misery. But if you are setting aside everything else so that you can be devoted to the Lord, then the potatoes simply are a means of facilitating that, so you're not distracted by a growling stomach. And when you want other things, using that as a springboard to have conversation with the Lord, that is what it is about. It's not about a diet. When you are facing food addiction, setting aside all but one food really is like rehab. You're setting aside everything to focus on what is most important. So think of it as a fast. Think of it as rehab for your taste buds and for your digestive system. Do not think of it as a diet. So that's kind of where I'm at this morning. This past week has been pretty good. Because I approached it with the right mindset, and I am actually looking forward to this next week. I've got my hash browns cooking right now for my breakfast, and so I'm feeling good to go. So I will be going through here in just a moment. I will be putting up on the screen the biometrics from the week. Now, when you're facing food addiction, it cannot be about weight loss. If it's about weight loss, it becomes a diet and you're not really dealing with the underlying issues. But I do think it's important to know what is happening in my body. So while I don't have necessarily some specific goals in mind, I'm not trying to achieve a certain amount of weight loss every week, I do think it's important to know what is happening in your body. Just like when recovering from any other addiction, you'd want to get your blood pressure and all of that to make sure that you're staying healthy. It's the same for facing food addiction. So I am tracking my biometrics, but just to know what is happening, not for any specific end goal. So I will be discussing those here in just a moment. So I want to do a really quick recap between this morning and 7 days ago. Total, there has been a weight loss of 11.4 pounds and a reduced body fat of 2.6%. So that's been really cool. BMI went down 1.7. Body fat went down by 2.6%. My fat-free body weight went up by 2.2 pounds. My subcutaneous fat, that's the fat that's just under the skin, that went down by 2%. And the visceral fat, that's the bad fat that's inside your abdominal muscle wall that's all around your organs, that went down 2 pounds. That's cool. My body water percentage went up by 1.8%, and my skeletal muscle mass went up by 1.5%. The actual mass went up by 2 pounds, and my bone mass overall went up by 0.2 pounds. That's really cool. My protein count actually went up by 0.8%, and my BMR went up by 22 kilocalories. So some of the biometrics were really surprising to me, especially how what would be considered, most of the bad markers went down and most of the good markers went up. Now, again, this is not about weight loss, but it is important to know what is happening. So to kind of see an overall positive trend gives me some encouragement that what I'm doing is beneficial overall for me and that it will not cause any detrimental effects. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this weekly recap. I hope that it was helpful and informative. Please give this video a thumbs up if you learned something, and also consider subscribing to my channel so that you guys can keep up with me while I am facing food addiction. So that's all for now. We'll see you in the next one. Bye!